He stepped into the spotlight ready to take her on, confident, bold, and sure he had the upper hand. But within moments, everything changed. She didn't just respond, she launched a move so massive, no one saw it coming. What started as a challenge turned into a political shockwave. What did she do, and why is everyone still talking about it? Stay tuned. In the world of American politics, moments of confrontation are not rare. They often begin when one political figure tries to hold another accountable, challenge their past decisions, or question their actions. These moments can be seen during interviews, public hearings, or live debates. One such moment happened when a prominent figure attempted to challenge a former attorney general. The attempt was not random or soft in tone. It was bold and intentional. It looked like it was planned, with clear goals in mind. The challenge may have centered around controversial topics, decisions made during past service, or issues connected to public accountability. This type of move usually carries risk. Public challenges between powerful figures are more than just words. They can shift public opinion, influence media narratives, and even affect political careers. When a political figure makes a move like this, it shows confidence, but it also opens doors to strong responses. In this case, the one who started the challenge probably believed they were raising important questions. They may have wanted to bring something into the light, something they believed needed public attention. Their voice might have been loud, clear, and focused on getting reactions from both the public and the person they were speaking about. The setting of the challenge also matters. When such moments happen in front of cameras, in government buildings, or during live interviews, they carry more weight. The public watches closely. Every word is recorded. The one issuing the challenge likely knew that their actions would be seen by thousands, if not millions. This is not just about politics behind closed doors. It becomes part of national conversation. This makes the move even bolder, because it demands attention and forces a response. Such challenges often come with certain tactics. One of them is direct questioning. Instead of making general statements, the challenger might ask sharp, targeted questions. These are meant to put pressure on the other person, to make them explain themselves or defend past choices. Another tactic is using past records, statements, or decisions as proof. When someone tries to confront a former official, they often do it by showing what that person did in office. This method tries to show a pattern or expose what the challenger sees as wrong or unfair behavior. In this situation, the challenger probably used such methods. They might have raised old events, past headlines, or past public reactions to prove a point. They may have used their voice, position, or platform to say, "Look at this needs answers." When someone does this, they are not only speaking to the person they challenge, they are also speaking to the public, the media, and other political figures who might be watching silently. This kind of move can be seen as an attempt to test the strength or credibility of the person being challenged. The reasons behind such challenges vary. Some do it for justice, others may do it for political points or to show leadership. In many cases, it's a mix of both. The person doing the challenge may believe that speaking out is necessary, that silence would be the same as accepting wrong actions. They may also feel pressure from the public or from their supporters to take a stand. All of this adds to the seriousness of the moment. It's not just words exchanged between two people. It becomes part of a larger political picture. It's also worth understanding the kind of position held by the person being challenged. A former attorney general holds strong public memory. That position deals with law, justice, and serious decisions that affect people's lives. So, when someone tries to challenge such a figure, they are not only speaking to a person, they are speaking to what that person represents. This makes the challenge more symbolic. It becomes a way to ask bigger questions about justice, law, and fairness. From an educational view, such events teach us about political accountability. They show us that in a healthy democracy, no one is above questions, not even those who once held powerful positions. Challenges like this reflect the checks and balances that allow ideas to be tested, records to be reviewed, and people to speak freely. Whether one agrees with the challenge or not, the action itself becomes a living example of democratic principles at work. The boldness of the challenge, especially when done openly, turns it into a public test. It becomes a moment where the person issuing the challenge must stand firm, be clear in their message, and handle any backlash. At the same time, they must show that their motive is grounded in reason or truth. If it appears too political or personal, the message can lose power. But if it connects with facts and reflects public interest, it can grow into something bigger. This particular situation followed that pattern. The challenge was sharp. It was directed at someone known for holding a high legal office. The intention seemed to be about raising questions that many may have wondered about but had not voiced publicly. That act, taking something unspoken and making it visible, is often how political shifts begin. The moment a challenge is made, the game changes. It becomes more than a conversation, it becomes a statement, and that statement, once made, cannot be taken back. When a public figure decides to speak out against another high-profile individual, especially someone who once held a major legal office, the reasons are usually deeper than just disagreement. These moments are often about holding someone accountable, questioning their past actions, or bringing attention to controversial topics. The challenge in this case wasn't light or casual. It was filled with strong language, direct confrontation, and a clear attempt to highlight things that were believed to be wrong or worth questioning. The challenge could have focused on several topics, such as decisions made during time in office, how certain cases were handled, or public stances taken on major legal or political matters. Often people in powerful positions make choices that affect a lot of people. Some of these decisions later become the center of public debate. When someone decides to bring those decisions back into the spotlight, they are usually trying to show that something about them was unfair, unethical, or harmful in some way. Direct criticism is one of the strongest tools in a public challenge. It is not just about pointing out mistakes, but making them part of a bigger discussion. For example, someone might say that the justice system was used unfairly, or that certain decisions helped some people while hurting others. They may even say that laws were twisted to serve political interests. When those kinds of words are spoken in front of cameras or during public forums, they are meant to shake the ground under the person being criticized. This kind of challenge does more than just raise questions. It can build public pressure. People begin to pay attention. News outlets may pick up the story. Social media might spread it even faster. Suddenly, what was once a past decision becomes today's headline again. This kind of attention puts the person being challenged in a difficult position. They either must defend their choices or stay silent and let others shape the story. The one who led the challenge probably knew that this would happen. Timing is often key in political strategy. By bringing up criticism at just the right moment, they could take advantage of public emotion, current events, or even upcoming elections. When the public is already frustrated or emotional, introducing a strong opinion can light a spark. This is why public figures sometimes wait before raising certain topics, because they know timing can affect how the message is received. The challenge may have included specific examples of behavior or decisions that were called into question. Instead of making general comments, it likely involved detailed references, names of cases, dates of events, or statements made in the past. These details make the criticism harder to ignore. It shows that the person speaking did their homework and wasn't just talking emotionally but also factually. That makes the challenge stronger and often more dangerous for the one being criticized. Such strong questioning can also carry moral or ethical weight. The one issuing the challenge might say that justice was not served fairly, or that the law was not applied equally. They may argue that people in power should be held to higher standards and that past power does not protect someone from present-day truth. These are powerful ideas that many people in the public agree with. When spoken clearly, they can lead to larger conversations about law, fairness, and who gets to decide what's right or wrong. Sometimes the one leading the criticism does so, not just to confront one person but to send a message to others. It's a way of saying, this kind of behavior should not happen again. In this way, the challenge is part of a larger effort to change systems, not just individuals. It becomes symbolic. The specific person being criticized may have triggered the event, but the message is meant to travel much further. There's also a deeper layer to this kind of confrontation. When one public figure questions another, they are also putting their own reputation on the line. If the criticism is seen as unfair or personal, it can backfire. But if it feels honest and necessary, it can raise their credibility and public support. This balance is always present. That's why the tone of the challenge matters. Was it angry, calm, sharp, or respectful? All of that plays into how the public will respond. In this situation, the confrontation appeared carefully shaped to stir response and demand attention. The use of firm questioning, the strong wording, and the focus on past choices all point to an effort to create real impact. The goal wasn't to have a quiet disagreement, but to spark public thought and possibly trigger a response from the one being questioned. This method, while bold, is part of how political debate works. When someone feels that wrong decisions have been made in the past, especially by someone in a high legal role, the only way to challenge it is often through public speech, detailed questioning, and open confrontation. When a public figure faces strong criticism or a direct challenge, there are several ways they can choose to respond. Some decide to stay quiet and let the issue pass. Others may release a short statement or ignore the person making the accusations. But sometimes the response is not small or passive. It is large, clear, and meant to show strength. That is exactly what happened in this situation. Instead of avoiding the issue or stepping back, the person who was challenged decided to respond with bold and direct action. This kind of move is not common. It takes confidence and a clear strategy. In politics, silence can often be used as a tool. Some believe that by saying nothing, they avoid giving more attention to the critic. But in this case, the choice was different. A decision was made to fight back in a powerful way. This means the person took the challenge seriously. They did not see it as a small matter or something that could be ignored. Instead, they responded in a way that would be noticed not only by the critic but by the public and the media as well. Such a move could take many forms. It might include giving a strong public statement, appearing in interviews, or even calling out the person who started the confrontation. It may also involve presenting facts, evidence, or past records to defend against the accusations. In some cases, legal steps might be taken, filing a complaint, sending a letter through legal channels, or bringing the matter into official proceedings. All of these responses show that the person is not backing down. They are standing their ground and showing that they are ready to defend their record. The message behind such a response is very clear. I will not let this go unanswered. This signals strength to supporters and sends a warning to others who might think about making similar challenges. In politics, image is everything. A strong response helps protect that image and sometimes even improves it. It tells the public that the person is in control and willing to speak for themselves. They are not waiting for others to defend them. They take charge of their own defense. It is also important to understand the timing of such a move. A massive response usually comes quickly after the original challenge. Waiting too long can make it look like someone is unsure or hiding something. But responding too fast, without preparation, can lead to mistakes. In this situation, the response seemed well planned. It did not appear emotional or rushed. It looked like the person took time to understand the challenge and then came back with a strong answer that made people take notice. This type of reaction often causes the conversation to shift. Instead of only focusing on the challenge, attention is now also on the response. People begin to ask, was the reaction fair? Was it too strong? Was it necessary? This turns the situation into a larger debate. The original critic may have wanted to take control of the narrative, but a powerful response changes the balance. Now both sides are being examined. This is one way public figures protect themselves and change the direction of the conversation. Sometimes, such a move can silence the critic or force them to step back. When the response is powerful and includes facts or legal strength, the person who began the challenge might feel pressure to defend their own actions. The situation flips. The one who asked the questions now faces questions in return. This is why massive responses are sometimes more effective than silence. They create consequences for the original challenge. Another important part of this kind of response is how it is delivered. Tone and style matter. If the response is angry or aggressive, it can lose public support. But if it is clear, confident, and respectful, it gains more strength. In this situation, the delivery seemed calculated. The goal was not just to answer back, but to take control of the story. That means speaking with authority, using facts, and showing calm leadership. The person making this move likely had experience in public situations, knowing how to handle pressure, respond to criticism, and turn attention in your favor are skills developed over time. This experience helps shape the way a response is crafted. It is not just about winning an argument, it is about maintaining respect, protecting reputation, and showing the public that leadership is still intact. This kind of reaction also sends a message to the broader political world. It says that public challenges will not go unchecked. It shows that past roles, especially those in law or justice, are still defended strongly. Even after leaving office, some public figures continue to guard their records carefully. When someone tries to bring those records into question, a strong defense is part of how they protect their legacy. By taking action instead of staying silent, the person showed that they were not afraid of criticism. They were ready to face it head-on and do so in a way that reminded others of their past strength and current influence. In doing so, they reshaped the entire situation from one of defense to one of offense, turning what looked like a threat into an opportunity to rise again in the public eye. When someone faces a public challenge, they usually have several ways to react. Some may choose to ignore it, some may respond quietly, and others may wait to see if it fades away. But in this case, the response was not simple or quiet. It was massive, bold, and well-planned. The move taken was not just about protecting personal reputation, it was about sending a strong message. This wasn't just a reaction, it was a strategic decision meant to show power and control over the situation. What makes a move massive in political terms? It is not just about being loud. A massive move usually involves serious action that creates impact across media, legal systems, or political circles. It can include using legal documents, launching public campaigns, calling for investigations, or gathering public support in a very visible way. The goal is to shift the focus away from the critic and onto a new direction that favors the one being challenged. The size of this response suggested that it was carefully thought out. It didn't look like something done in anger or fear. Instead, it seemed planned step by step, making sure every part of the action would create pressure on the challenger. One part of a massive move is controlling the story. If the public starts talking only about the accusation, the person being accused may lose support. But by responding strongly, they can change what people talk about. Suddenly, the story is not just about the challenge, it's about how the response changed everything. This kind of power play often uses legal tools. When a person with legal knowledge or experience feels attacked, they can respond by using the law to fight back. That might mean sending legal letters, filing formal complaints, or bringing forward documents that support their position. These actions show that the person is not only willing to speak, they are willing to act within the system that they once helped lead or still understand deeply. It also sends a warning that false accusations or public attacks will not go unanswered. Another sign of a massive move is bringing in public support. That can mean speaking directly to the public through interviews, speeches, or online platforms. The person may lay out their side of the story with strong language, aiming to reach as many people as possible. They may also remind the public of their past achievements, showing that they deserve respect and trust. When done correctly, this kind of move not only defends, but also strengthens their public image. In politics, image is everything. When someone is publicly challenged, their image is at risk. A massive move helps protect that image. But it does more than that. It can rebuild and even improve the public's view. Instead of appearing weak or shaken, the person appears calm, organized, and ready to fight back with facts and strategy. This shows leadership. It tells people that even in times of pressure, they can stay strong and take control of the situation. There is also a deeper effect. A strong response makes others in the political world pay attention. It sends a signal that challenges will not be taken lightly. That warning can make others think twice before speaking out or joining in on the criticism. A massive move doesn't just deal with one challenge, it can stop others before they even begin. It's a way of setting boundaries and protecting one's space in the political field. Sometimes the move includes revealing new information. This could mean sharing facts that the public didn't know before. It might also mean bringing up the critic's own past actions, showing that they are not above mistakes. By doing this, the person shifts the focus again. The critic, who once controlled the spotlight, now faces questions too. This equal playing field changes the balance of power. The ability to take such a step also shows confidence. It tells the world that the person feels secure in their past actions and decisions. They are not afraid of questions. They believe they can answer them and still come out strong. Confidence in this kind of moment often wins public respect, even from people who may not fully agree with every past decision. A massive move is not just about winning an argument. It's about controlling the moment, the message, and the public mood. When a person is challenged in public and they answer back with a powerful, multi-layered response, they shift the entire conversation. The one who attacked no longer controls the story. That control now belongs to the one who responded, with strength and intelligence. Taking such a step in the face of criticism is a way of showing that leadership doesn't disappear when trouble comes. True leadership is seen most clearly during pressure, and a bold, calculated move is one of the clearest signs that a person understands both their position and their power. This kind of response becomes part of their legacy, showing that when tested, they didn't retreat. They rose and acted with purpose. In politics, every action has a reaction. When someone makes a bold move or responds with strength, it doesn't just end there. It creates waves that affect public opinion, media stories, and even future political strategies. In this case, after the challenge was made and a powerful response was delivered, the attention of the public started to shift. People began to ask more questions, not just about the challenge, but about the person who responded with such authority and confidence. This shift changed how the story was being told and understood. Before the response, most of the focus was on the accusations or criticism. People wanted to know what was said, why it was said, and whether there was truth in it. But once a massive move was taken, the conversation changed direction. Now the focus was on the response itself, how it was handled, what it meant, and what it revealed about the person under pressure. This shift is very important in political communication. It means the person being challenged has regained control over the story. Public perception is not just about facts. It's also about tone, confidence, and presence. When someone responds strongly and calmly to a public challenge, people begin to see them as a leader again. They may not agree with every decision they made in the past, but they respect the way they defended themselves. Respect is one of the most valuable things in public life. It can be rebuilt through action, especially when that action shows clear thinking and emotional control during a difficult time. This change in public focus can also weaken the original challenge. When attention shifts, the critic loses some of their influence. Their words are no longer the center of discussion. Instead, people are now watching the person who was challenged and how they handled it. This change can reduce the weight of the accusations. It makes them look smaller in comparison to the powerful reaction that followed. Sometimes public support can even grow stronger after such a response. People admire strength under pressure. They want to see that someone in a leadership position can face hard moments and not fall apart. A well-managed response shows that a person is not only capable of defending themselves, but also able to stand tall when others try to bring them down. This kind of behavior can lead to renewed trust and support, especially from those who were unsure before. The media also plays a big role in shaping what people think. After the bold move was made, headlines began to focus on the comeback instead of the attack. Talk shows, articles, and online discussions started analyzing the response. Was it fair? Was it powerful? What does it say about the bigger political picture? These are the kinds of questions that help shape long-term opinions. When the media begins to talk about the response more than the original challenge, it shows that the story has turned in a new direction. This new focus also puts pressure back on the person who started the challenge. Now they have to deal with a stronger opponent. They may have expected silence or a weak reply, but instead, they got a carefully planned and very public answer. That surprise can throw off their strategy. They now have to decide whether to continue pushing or step back, and either choice can affect their own reputation. Another important part of this shift is how it affects future political moves. Once someone has proven that they can respond with strength and clarity, others in politics begin to notice. Allies may feel more secure and willing to show support. Opponents may become more careful. The field of power changes. Political survival often depends on moments like these, times when a person is tested and shows they are still in control of their story, their image, and their future. This kind of shift doesn't happen by accident. It requires planning, experience, and emotional balance. It also requires the ability to think several steps ahead. The person who made the strong move likely understood that public reaction can be more powerful than any single speech. By changing the public conversation, they not only defended themselves but also rebuilt their standing in the political arena. All of this shows how quickly things can change in public life. A person can go from being the target of criticism to becoming the focus of praise or curiosity. It depends on how they respond. When the response is strong enough to shift the entire discussion, it becomes more than just a defense. It becomes a turning point. People start to talk not just about what happened, but about how it was handled. That's when the narrative truly changes, and the one who was once questioned begins to lead the conversation again.